Hi guys, welcome back to another Hugh video. In this video, I'm going to be attempting to restore this Samsung tablet. Purchased in its current state, it comes in many pieces. It was listed on eBay with a title that captured my attention. It was mentioned it was good for parts or to restore if you're a magician. The seller further mentioned in the description that it was in fact ran over. Now, I'm no magician, but this repair sounded like a challenge. Someone has already opened it up, likely in an attempt to repair it, but has failed miserably. So not only has it been left in pieces, but it's also missing all of its screws and a few parts too. In fact, it fell apart in my hands just taking it out of the parcel. I took a gamble with this tablet. I didn't know what was wrong with it, or if the last owner had damaged it further, having opened it up. After receiving and unpacking the tablet, I found it's missing the frame, most of the screws, a speaker, vibration motor, and both the rear and front cameras. But before we get started with the repair, I'd like to thank iFixit for sponsoring this video. Get parts for your next project or a toolkit to handle just about any repair. I've been using my favorite, the ProTech toolkit, for years now, repairing everything from phones, tablets, and computers to myself. Those tweezers are really good at getting glass out of my foot. Visit iFixit.com/HughJeffries or the link below to get yours today. To begin, I'll start assembling what I've received and see what happens when we connect it to a charger. After all, there's no point buying any parts if it's completely dead. I'll install the motherboard and battery back into place before connecting the charging port and display flex cables. Given the damage to the display, it likely won't do anything. Using an amp meter will help us give an indication on if it might be salvageable. Plugging it in, it draws about 1.4 amps. This seems about right to me and sounds like it's charging the battery. With that, I was semi-confident that we can get it working once again. I ordered a new display panel and several other smaller components that were missing, including the speaker, cameras, buttons, and a new bezel. Having gathered all the new components I need, it's time to put everything together. This will firstly involve removing everything from the back of the old display, such as the battery and motherboard we installed to test the tablet, to the other components that were untouched by the last owner. Given this tablet has already been partially disassembled, has definitely made my job a lot easier. That being said, it looks like this tablet is held together using mainly screws and plastic clips rather than adhesive, so it's proving to be quite easy to work with. The motherboard or heart of this tablet looks to be in perfect shape. There isn't any physical or liquid damage to be seen, so hopefully it has survived unscathed. Samsung has chosen to integrate several components together, such as the speaker, headphone jack, and button assembly. Likely done to save space, this can cause extra waste. If repairing your tablet, you may end up replacing other components that aren't damaged, because they're attached together and can only be replaced as one assembly. This speaker caused me a bit of grief before I worked out how it was attached. It's clipped into place, but at the bottom it slides under a peg, keeping it from coming up. After sliding the speaker towards the top of the device, it became unlodged. Once removed, the IR blaster and proximity sensor are to come out next. Using a combination of a plastic pick and tweezers from my ProTech toolkit, I was able to pry the cable free. Down at the lower half, the display cable can be unlatched and removed. We'll need to reuse this on our new display assembly. On the side, we're greeted with our first two Phillips head screws. Once these are out, we can remove the micro USB port and SD card slot. These are held in place with a slight bit of adhesive, but not enough to require any heat or serious prying. The same goes for the SIM slot, which my model is equipped with. Unlike the iPad counterpart, the SIM slot isn't just used for mobile data. It can be used just like a phone, meaning you can actually make phone calls from this tablet. It's important that I save the adhesive, as we'll be needing to reuse that when we stick it into our new frame. So I'll reapply it onto the flex cable before proceeding to remove the remaining components. Samsung has made one very modular cable, as yet another cable is attaching between the SIM reader and home button. This is the last component we'll need to remove from this destroyed screen. With that, we have fully disassembled this Galaxy Tab S. Not only was that easy, but there really wasn't many components inside. Although with some missing, we'll be of course putting more back in when we reassemble. And to do that, we'll need to of course crack out the new display assembly, the back of which will house all of the internal components. I'll start with the flex cables for the home button, SIM reader, and charging port. Having done a full housing replacement on an iPad Pro, this repair is in full contrast. It's really a doable undertaking. Yes, a few of the cables are secured with adhesive, but the battery isn't. Only 4 screws hold it down in place. Given how much surface area is inside a tablet, it's not hard to make things a bit easier to work with. This is an older tablet, but it's still proving itself as very repairable. If you can get the parts cheap enough, it's worth doing. I see a lot of people comparing the top new cheap tablets for under a few $100s, but in reality, you're going to get a much better experience buying a good tablet from a few years ago than some $150 tablet that's essentially e-waste the day you buy it. To replace the missing screws, I'll be using some designed to fit the Galaxy S7 Edge. One thing about Samsung is they've used the same size screws not only throughout one whole device, but over most of their devices over so many years. So one bag of replacement screws can fix so many devices. With the motherboard in place, I'll fasten the once missing speaker and vibration motor before proceeding to fit the rear and front facing cameras. Next is the proximity sensor and IR blaster. Remember when phones and tablets came with those? You can control TVs and all sorts of devices that work with IR. Devices have evolved with better processors, bigger batteries, edge-to-edge displays and more storage, but we've really lost so many nice features along the way. I'll reinstall the battery and secure it down with 4 screws before attaching the display cable into its connector on both the display and motherboard. With that, the charging port flex cable can be attached, as well as the battery. From here, we can finally test out whether or not this Galaxy Tab actually works. Sure enough, it booted right up. Based on the last time the weather widget had updated, this tablet hasn't powered on since August of 2015, and it's still running Android 4. To get this tablet fully reassembled, I'll need to install the new frame. It came without any buttons or mesh grills for the speakers, so I had to purchase them separately. While I found replacement buttons, I wasn't able to find any speaker grills. These are only cosmetic, so I'll have to do without. The volume and power buttons can be positioned into place and secured by correctly routing the black rubber tabs on each side. I'll also need to attach the micro SD and SIM card doors onto the frame. These attach similar to the buttons, as they have their own rubber piece that needs to be put into the correct slot. Finally, the new frame can be clipped onto the display. This was harder than anticipated and proved the most difficult part of the repair. The new snaps were very strong and required quite a bit of force to lock them into place. The back panel could simply be pushed on and clipped into position. With that, it's fully assembled. But before we can call it done, I'll need to clean up the tablet. After all, it's still got some tape on the back and some marks that I need to clean off. The last thing left to do is to remove the plastic protective film from the new display, and install a tempered glass screen protector. And we're done. So this is it, the newly restored Samsung Galaxy Tab S. I'm not sure by fixing it, I'm the magician. After all, the last owner is the one who managed to make some of the parts vanish. But regardless, it's back up and running, and wow, that 2K resolution OLED display looks amazing. This tablet can officially run up to Android 6, but I found custom ROMs supporting Android 7, which is still a well-supported operating system. And on that note, this has been a Hugh Jeffreys video. If you like what you saw, hit that subscribe button and consider checking out the tablet playlist for more videos just like this one. And if you're looking for any used devices, be sure to check out my online store, link for which is down in the description. That's all for this video, and I'll catch you guys next time.